Okay, so in this lecture we will look at Venn diagram representation of events. A Venn diagram is a useful geometrical representation of events. In a Venn diagram, the sample space is represented by a rectangle and the simple events are represented by points within this rectangle. An event is represented by a closed region containing the simple events that belongs to this event. So in this example, we have random digits are generated by a computer. Then the sample space S is given by the list 0, 1, 2, 3 up until 9. So now we can define different events on the sample space. We can define, for example, the event A, an odd digit is generated. B, a digit smaller than 6 is generated. And C, an odd digit smaller than 6 is generated. Okay, so this gives A, an odd digit is generated, so that's 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. B, a digit smaller than 6 is generated, so that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then C, an odd digit smaller than 6 is generated, so that's 1, 3, and 5. Okay, and we can represent these events in a Venn diagram. So here I have S, my sample space given by the rectangle, and then the blue ellipse represents event A, and the simple events 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 all form part of event A. And then event B is represented by the red ellipse, and we have simple events 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in event B. And then event C is this intersection between events A and B. Sometimes we want to determine the probabilities of the combination of two or more events. So in the following table, I will give you the notation that we use to indicate an event or a specific event and combinations of events, as well as the Venn diagram representation of these events and combinations of events. So the first one here we have the sample space or the certain event S, and that is represented by this rectangle covered in blue. Then we have the impossible event. So here you can see that there is no blue colored area in my sample space here in my Venn diagram representation. Then we have a complement. A complement means that everything except A takes place. And that you can see here. Here is my event A, and the event A is not covered in blue, but everything else is covered in blue. So everything except A takes place. And then we have A union B. So that means A takes place, or B takes place, or both of them takes place. And here you can see the Venn diagram representation of that. Then A intersecting B means that A and B take place. That means that both events must take place simultaneously. And that is then this blue area representing the intersection between the events A and B. And then lastly, we have A intersecting B is equal to the impossible event or the empty set. And if we have that the intersection between two events is impossible, then it means that A and B are mutually exclusive. That is, the events cannot take place simultaneously. And here you can see the Venn diagram representation where there is no intersection between events A and B. So if we go back to our example here, we have defined events A, B, and C, but you will agree that event C is nothing else than the intersection between A and B. So A intersecting B is the same as event C. So usually we wouldn't define a third event C, but we would represent event C as the intersection between the two events A and B. Okay, so that was on Venn diagram representation of events and the notation that we use.